Let me start first with where we are and a little bit about observations that are actually happening. And I promise you this won't be a commercial on IBM as much as a kind of a statement of what we're seeing in the marketplace. IBM's a 115-year-old company that we hit our highest market share about 2 weeks ago. It peaked over $300 and it kind of retreated a little bit to $280. What is it that's actually happening? So I think 4 major trends that we're actually seeing in the market that I think really impact all of you in terms of how do you interact with the marketplace and customers. The first, and we, with the last 2 speakers, spoke a lot about the hyperscaler in the marketplace. But I think what we're actually seeing is if you look at the business models of a lot of these companies, it's all about getting CPU spinning and a little bit of like a Hotel California. And I'm not offensive, like we are amazing partners with AWS and Microsoft and even recently Google. And it's an amazing business model, but I think if you're looking at it from a client or partner's perspective, it's a little bit of like, make it really easy to get your data and workload in there, and then very difficult to kind of shift over. And if you think of a developer who's working to build the best application to serve their customer, like what do they want? Like they want choice, right? They want to be able to design the best application without thinking about location up front. Like at the end, just build the best, coolest thing that's going to actually serve your customer, and then have mobility to be able to move it wherever you want. There's something called non-deterministic. It's the first time that we actually rolled out a product that if you test it in small scale and you try to expand it out, the results will vary drastically. And we have a lot of learnings about our own kind of use of AI. It makes it very difficult to govern and make sure that you have like regulated and kind of accurate information. That's our specialty. That's what we do. And some of the world's largest companies depend on IBM because we have this trusted brand working with an ecosystem of partners to be able to embed that governed AI or enterprise for AI business underneath it. So where are we as a statement? I think like AI hype, there was a lot of questions about, where are we in the cycle? And Arvind talked a little about 3 years and 5-year dimensions, and of course, totally spot on. Like we're at a situation now where probably everybody has experimented. I think by now everybody has kind of had an initiative. But there's only about 25% of people who actually have a project that's in production, right? 25%. Only less than 1% of people have like what they're self-declaring as a mature application. And I would define mature application as you're in day 2 runtime. Like people are now like looking away and it's still running. People are using it, right? It's no longer like forcing something to go into production. It's actually delivering a value. So what are the barriers, right? I think there's a lot here that you probably all have kind of experienced in some level. The one that I am most focused on is skills. If you think of IBM, that's our sacred cow, like our sacred skill of what it is that differentiates us from other companies. And what I found is that there's a lot of non-transferable skills that are not obvious. So companies have found that only 1 out of 10 of their data scientists are actually transferable to generative AI. 1 out of 10. So that means people have invested these big populations of data scientists to be able to kind of solve world hunger and do AI and ML and deep learning. But only 1 out of 10 of them actually know how to do like a prompt and how to use generative AI and how to actually get structured, unstructured data to get accurate results. That's like an astonishing number. Nobody went to college and they got an academic education on the things that are hot now. So what's the difference, right? The difference is your level of kind of vulnerability to experiment and actually to start doing it, and a company's kind of like culture to be able to organize their people around these topics, to be able to test and learn and to fail. We're getting really good at this. And when we bring them in, we often don't just like kind of fold them in. We say, how do we get the value and kind of make it additive? A synergistic kind of like acquisition where 1 + 1 is more than 2. And I think we're seeing a lot of success around the back of our acquisitions. Started off with Red Hat, right, if you think of that as one of them, but in the last few years, tremendous success we've seen with really exciting things around the core platforms. Nothing is random, everything is around hybrid cloud and AI, right? That is our kind of mission and our focus, and we continue to accelerate there. AI is a tremendous part of our business. Over 85% of our wins were fulfilled through partners. 85% of our wins through partners. So this is not like, hey, you're saying things, the brochure and the trip don't match up. We are absolutely committed to the ecosystem, both resell and also embedded within, either as like if you're a CPO or Chief Product Officer and you're building an application, you need an accelerated of a governed AI tool, we're an amazing kind of fit to put that little cog into your engine. We are really, really excited about the direction of the business. I think we are a $65, $70 billion business that's growing at double digits and putting out cash flow, biggest market cap that we ever saw. I think we have a path to be able to even continue to accelerate our growth. We are very ecosystem friendly, right? That's the only way that we're going to scale to get to where we want to go. And we are not quite there yet, to be very vulnerable and honest, but our aspiration is to be very easy for you all to work with, which is speed, AI, automation. That's my new mission. Like, we're not going to do it alone, so we would love kind of transparent partners, and the best partners are the ones who tell us what we're not doing well. I just wanted to say thank you all. We are in this birth of a new IBM, and I think it's going to be really, the next 100 years are going to be even better than the last 100 years, so thank you all. We look forward to partnering with you, but partnering is telling each other what works and what doesn't work, and improving as we go. So please, any feedback or areas that we can improve, we would love to hear from you. Thank you all so much, and have a good rest of your day.